Hey, it's me, Egbert. Egggburt. Check out my website at egbert.com. Now it's back to those two dudes who told me they would bring in big ratings. They better are their history. Here are Brad and John.
John, over the weekend, a family member, I'm trying to help them out with some issues they have in their basement, specifically an HVAC unit that I'm doing some work on. And there tends to be, in this particular family member's home, there's a couch that they no longer use, which is in the basement, which needs to go. And it's sort of in my way of trying to work on stuff. So yesterday, I've never done this before. I made a couple of phone calls, and I realized I am in the wrong damn business, okay?
Do you want to get into the junk hauling business now?
I called College Hunks Hauling Junk, okay? College Hunks originally started out as a moving company. Now they move junk, okay? Now, first off, the way a lot of these franchises work is that you can't talk to anybody local anymore. Do you know about this? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you would have to call in. It'd be like calling a hotel chain. You could never get the actual location.
Right.
You have to talk to the central phone line.
Right, and they ask you 14 zillion questions, and they're giving you all these upsells and stuff like that. So my couch, not my couch, but the couch I'm trying to get out of this basement, and once again, it's a walkout basement. There's no steps or anything like that, and the couch is literally 5 feet from the sliding door that goes outside, and you go, and then the driveway is on that side. So in other words, from the point where the couch comes out of the basement to the point where it would be in the back of a truck is maybe 60 feet, okay? And the couch maybe weighs 150 pounds, okay? You know what my bid on College Hunks moving junk was?
My guess would be to even get them there, it would be $150.
They wanted $498.
You're kidding me.
$498.
You cannot be serious.
I am serious as a heart attack, okay? $498. Then I called 1-800-GOT-JUNK, okay? The problem with 1-800-GOT-JUNK was the same deal. You call 800 and you get bounced around. And finally I said to the lady, I got a $100 bill. Can you make this couch disappear? And you know what her response was?
Absolutely not.
We can't take cash.
and Brett, let's also point out, too, that whoever took that call from you is not incentivized probably to make any sort of a deal. Like, she's not paid whether she has a sense of humor or a negotiating skill or anything. She's paid to take calls and complete transactions, and that's it.
Right. And so then I put a posting up on a community forum on Facebook, and I got 4 or 5 answers. And a local guy who came forward and says, oh, my God, I'm the cheapest guy. I can do that for you. $225. And I said to him, I go, this is right by the door. And his response was, well, most of that $225 is in the landfill fee. And I'm going like, it can't cost that much to throw a couch in the landfill.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking to myself.
So where did you end up burning this in the backyard, or what'd you end up doing, Brad?
John, I love tools, okay? I have not one, but I have 2 Sawzalls. So this happened recently where I did this with another piece of furniture. Same situation where I wanted it moved and nobody would move it. So one day I charged my batteries up and I put new blades in my Sawzall and I chopped it up in little pieces and just threw it in the trash.
Nice. That's probably the best option, right?
Right. And to the point where what will it cost me? Well, if my time is worthless, which is probably is most of the time, it will be free. And maybe I'll go through a couple saw blades, maybe $10, $15. And I'm done. It's the point where it's like now I get it because of the fact that I'm not trying to make fun of businesses like this, but I'm thinking to myself, holy cow. I mean, and when you see this, when you hear people talk about, oh, my mother-in-law passed away and we hired 1-800, we'll clean your house for free or we'll clean your house for practically nothing. I have one family member that told me they got an estimate for a friend of theirs, similar situation, where their mother passed away and the guy came and made an estimate to clean out the house so they could sell it. Guess how much?
No idea.
$20,000. And I'm going like,
it's laughable, Brett.
I'm in the wrong damn business. What am I doing? What am I doing talking on the radio by myself, a 1-ton truck and a trailer and go, okay, let's.
You know what I would love to see, Brad? You made a joke earlier about the GPS and following things. Can you imagine if you followed that couch? And let's say you were a sucker and you paid the, quote, landfill fee. What percentage of couches do you think don't end up exactly in a certified landfill?
Well,
you get what I'm saying?
It's funny you should bring that up because there's guys on YouTube now. There's a couple guys who are doing this where they're talking about these charities saying, "Hey, give us your car and we're going to donate your car to us and we're going to resell that car and we're going to fix it up, and a person that's not, as well off as you." You know what I mean? In other words, they're trying to repurpose the car for someone who's broke and needs transportation.
Yeah.
So what these guys are doing is they're putting in air tags in the car. So in other words, they're donating the car and then they're following the car.
And they watch it go.
And a couple guys, to the point where it's sort of interesting, a couple of guys have already followed to the point where the thing goes dark for like 5 or 6 days where there's no pings or anything like that. And then all of a sudden the one guy woke up and he says he got a ping like 3 o'clock in the morning. It's in China. The car's in China.
Wow.
So, it's like...
But just for parts? Would it be shipped over there for parts?
But he claimed that this particular charity was going to auction it off, or more appropriately, if the car was in decent shape. And he claims the car was not in that bad a shape, that it could have been, a couple $100. Once again, it's sort of the same thing. You have that organization that's out. I think they're still out at Spirit of St. Louis. That what they do is a bunch of guys who are pilots and A&P mechanics, airframe and power plant mechanics, aviation dudes, and they get old planes that are not in the best of shape. People donate them, specifically small single-engine Cessna 152s, 172s, things like that, and they fix them up. I think it's called Wings of Hope. And then they donate, the people donate these planes. These guys fix them up, make them airworthy, get them back in the air, and then they ship them, or they actually transport them around the world, and they give them to like ministries and doctors who want to fly into the bush and help, people who don't have any medical care and stuff like that. Now, I get that. And because most of the time, those things, but yet the charity thing, like for example, if you listen to KWMU, if you got that car in your driveway, instead of it being an eyesore, it can be public radio programming right here in KWMU. Donate your car. I'm going, okay, whatever. Okay, that's number one. Number two, RFT. I sent you this article. Did you know about this? It was on.
No, I thought it was a great connection, though. So I imagine most folks haven't heard this. Tell the story, Brad.
There's an article on St. Louis Public Radio, and I give it credit. Do you have that in front of you? I don't.
I don't. And the woman is, I'm not sure her name. She's not a regular staff member of St. Louis Public Radio, though. I didn't recognize her name. The newsroom intern helped with the piece, too, though.
Right, and she's doing research on the RFT thing. And this, what is it, J.D. Davis? Is that what the guy's going as, or what's his name? J.T.
I think you're getting him confused with J.D. Vance, but like a Michael Davis, he's got it. I don't have it in front of me.
Well, I thought he was using initials or something like that. I'm thinking to myself, does anybody use their name anymore? It's J.D.
Go ahead.
J.D. Pritzker and J.D. Vance. But supposedly, and this is where I need your help a little bit, because this is more, I know this area to a certain extent, but I think you may understand this area even better than I do. Supposedly, they tracked down the fact that the Riverfront Times was actually sold to this guy who's now popped up on the site, and he's putting some things about, hey, when you go to Chicago, just the thing you want in the Riverfront Times,
Yeah.
When you go to Chicago, here's the hot dogs. Hold it. No, here, you're making fun of me. J.D. Davis and RFT writers.
Oh, it is. Okay.
J.D. Davis and RFT writers. Okay. He runs a company that promotes OnlyFans people. And his claim to fame is that if you are an OnlyFans person and you're trying to make a lot of money and you're not, he essentially will help promote your OnlyFans account. Now, and here's the interesting thing, okay? You and I went through this last week. I'm looking at the RFT site on my phone right now. I see no ads on there anywhere whatsoever. Now, do you have the similar thing on the front page? I see no ads anywhere. Do you have? Okay. Do you see any ads at all on there?
I'm not there right now, Brad, but I can bring it up.
Okay. Look at your phone, because the other day mine didn't refresh, and I was still seeing.
I'm pulling a Brad Hildebrand, and I'm going to the desktop.
Okay, going to the desktop. Okay, that's a different feed. You're going to see a
Yeah,
different feed.
I don't see any ads here right now. No, you're right.
Okay, what the article is implying, and tell me if I get this correct or not, what this J.D. Davis did was he secretly bought the paper from the owner, and the reason that you don't see any activity on this is he's using it to essentially to do Google search, Google SEO, and what he's doing is he's publishing stories on the website which are not visible. In other words, they don't have links if you go onto the navigation page. And I know how to do this because I've got several of my websites have pages which they're secret, essentially secret pages. And if I want somebody to see something, I'd say, hey, check out this, and they go to the website, but yet you can't find it anywhere in the menu. He's claiming that what this J.D. Davis guy is doing, he's putting all sorts of articles on the RFT website, but they're not visible to the...
He is. And Brad, let me interrupt right now. If you go to search and you enter the word OnlyFans, you will find a ton of articles that were published on July 31st, and I can't even say the name of some of these articles. They involve chubby people, and they involve people, doing some stuff. And I see these were all posted on July 31st. So in other words, Brad, what you're saying, okay, I'm Xing out of this. Yikes.
Here's one.
What you're saying is that the front of the RFT can appear to be, it's almost like a Trojan horse.
Exactly.
It appears as though it's like the old traditional boring news site, but articles promoting OnlyFans are more deeply embedded deeper onto the website.
And what he's doing is he's using the fact that the RFT still gets lots of hits because people are going like, what if anything's happened to the RFT? They're still getting lots of web traffic. But when Google crawls it, they crawl the entire website, and they get
very smart.
And they get every single piece of publication on that website, and they're indexing it that way. So in other words, the general public is not seeing this, but the Google search sees every nook and cranny on the website, and he's essentially, and you know, it's funny, you just pointed that out to me, and you're the smartest guy in the world because I see the same thing. 16 best mistresses OnlyFans featuring free mistress OnlyFans content in 2024.
Chubby stuff, and there's some other words that we probably shouldn't say for the fact that most people watch this on YouTube, and we don't want to get a strike on YouTube, but a lot of interesting terms there, Brad.
Right. St. Louis Cardinals fans. Okay. It's interesting. God. So, you know, and once again, this is the interesting part of this is. This is the interesting part. This is like gaming the system because what he's doing is, and, you know, once again, more power to him. He's figured out how Google works. Now, the only problem on this is that Google is notorious on this, and so is Facebook as well, too, that once people, quote-unquote, figure out the algorithm, they change it. So in other words...
Right away, yeah. They got it. Yep, they throw people off.
Right. People go like, okay, we know what you guys are up to. You figured out that you can do this, this, and this, so guess what? You can't do it anymore. And there was a time when I was doing this as well, too, when I was promoting video, when Google had just purchased YouTube, where I could tell a client... I can get you, matter of fact, I did this a couple times. I said, I can get you on first page of Google search. I said, I can get you on the first page of Google search tomorrow. And they go, how are you going to do that? I go, I'll do it. So I put together a crappy little 10-second video, which would be like a little text video. You know, no sound, you know, like let's say it was Joe's Pest Control. Joe's Pest Control. You know, that was one title slide. Get rid of bugs today. You know, and the third title slide would say, call Joe. 636-9000, you know, and that's his phone number, okay?
Yep.
And I would put that up, and I would do a little bit of SEO, keyword search, and stuff like that, and I would put the YouTube video up, and the next day, that video would be on page 1 of Google.
That's amazing.
Because Google, essentially, at that point in time, was prioritizing video content on YouTube because they wanted to promote YouTube, and that's what they were doing. So... Interesting. Okay, one other thing. Are you familiar with this organization called, and I found this fascinating as well too, it's called, let me see if I can find it. I had a note right here. I thought I kept it. It's called MARB. Do you know what this is?
No.
Well, it's actually sort of fascinating, and let me see if I can find it again. And it was a pretty interesting article, and I think it's called MARB. And essentially what it is, it's a... if we're running short on time, maybe I'll research more tomorrow and talk about this. It's an organization that was formed 4 or 5 years ago, an international organization of advertising professionals, people that are using the internet and things like that. And they used it essentially to combat that their ads didn't show up next to porn ads. In other words, the idea was that if you...
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure.
Okay, and what they're now saying that this organization is now being... What's the term if you're doing something something not illegally, but you're sort of bending the rules? It's what's the sub? Come on, you're Mr.
Subversive.
Subversively, they're subversively using this organization to essentially quiet people or to ghost people or to essentially people that they don't like. They're making it tough for them to show up on search results and things like that, or companies they don't like. They're trying to, in other words, they're using what used to be their doobie and John didn't know what a doobie was. Well, John maybe knew what a doobie was, but anyway, he didn't know
not
the doobie,
that kind of doobie
in the Miss Lois romper room. Okay, John, guess what? We're done. Go out and vote for.
Already voted.
Did you already vote?
Oh yeah, I voted last week.
Oh, you let it. Okay, you're an early voter. Okay, say goodbye, John.
Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for checking out the Brad and John Show podcast. This segment of the show is brought to you by John Combest's book, Stalking, Harassment, Internet Trolling, A Guide to Recovering and Rebuilding After Online Attacks. It's a great reference if you've ever been the unfortunate target of a social media attack. It's available on Amazon. Just search John Combest. That's Combest, John Combest, and the book will show up in your search results. Now it's time for another segment of the Brad and John Show. Can you handle it?